Christmas Eve, man. It used to be just another night for me. Just me, a cold shift at the warehouse, and whatever leftover sandwich I could grab before midnight. But that year, everything changed. Not just my night, my whole damn life. I was locking up my apartment fingers numb from the wind when I saw something move near the dumpster. At first I thought it was a stray cat, but no. It was smaller. Slower. Too careful. It was a little girl. She was maybe 7 tops, wrapped in this oversized purple jacket, digging through trash like she knew what she was doing. Her hands were red from the cold, and she was clutching some crust of a sandwich like it was gold. I called out real soft, "Hey, you, okay?" She froze, her eyes big and brown, locked on me like I was the devil himself. She didn't run, just stood there like she was used to being scared. "I'm not gonna hurt you," I said, stepping closer. She didn't say a word, just looked at me like she was trying to figure out if I was worth trusting. Then she whispered, "I'm looking for food." That hit me harder than I expected. Name's Carter Bell. I used to be a husband. Almost a dad. My wife, Jamie, she had this laugh that could make a room forget it was broken. We were going to have a boy. Painted the nursery green because we couldn't agree on blue or yellow. Then, one hospital trip, one damn complication, and I lost them both. After that, I stopped living. Took a job on the night shift, moved into a building where no one asked questions, kept my head down. I became a ghost, a man who used to dream. But seeing that girl that night alone, freezing hungry, something cracked open in me. "What's your name?" I asked her. "Lila." "Well, Lila, I'm Carter." I knelt down. "Do you have somewhere to go?" She shook her head. "Anyone looking out for you?" She hesitated, then whispered, "Not anymore." She told me her grandma, the only person who ever took care of her, had passed away 3 weeks ago. Since then, she'd been bounced from one foster home to another, none of them warm, none of them safe. The last one didn't even notice when she left. So she came back here, hoping maybe her grandma would be waiting. She'd been living in the basement of the building next door, crawling in through a broken window, for 2 days. I looked at her shivering in that damn purple jacket, and I knew this girl didn't need a lecture or a hotline. She needed a home. She needed someone who wouldn't vanish. "Come on," I said. "Let's get you warm." She hesitated for a second, survival instincts flashing in her eyes, but then she followed. My apartment wasn't much, just walls and silence. No pictures, no warmth, no life. But when I opened the door and Lila stepped inside, it was like she brought the air with her. She looked around like she'd never seen heat before. "You can sit. I'll make something." She didn't speak, just sat on the edge of the couch, holding her sandwich like a backup plan. I heated up some soup, grilled a couple of cheese sandwiches, my usual lonely meal. But now it felt different. I ran her a bath, found some clean shirts that would swallow her whole, and tossed her a pair of my old socks. She looked at them like they were treasure. When she came out clean and warm, her hair wet and combed back, she looked like a different kid. Still thin, still wary, but her eyes had a flicker of light. She ate slowly. Every bite was cautious, like it might disappear. "There's more if you want," I told her. She looked up. "Really?" I nodded. And that's when her lip trembled. Not from cold this time, but from something breaking free. That night, after she fell asleep on my couch, I made calls. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, just that I was done pretending I was fine. I called child services, left messages. I called an old friend, Marcus, used to be a lawyer now, a family court guardian. Woke him up. "You sure about this, Carter?" he asked. "No," I said, "but I'm more sure than I've been about anything in years." The next few weeks, man, they were hell. Paperwork, home visits, background checks, parenting classes. I hadn't talked about Jamie or the baby in years, and suddenly I was pouring my heart out to social workers and therapists, trying to prove I wasn't some unstable recluse. Lila stayed with me under emergency placement status. Every night she'd curl up on the couch and I'd watch her sleep like she was a miracle I was afraid to lose. Some nights she'd wake up screaming. I'd sit beside her, hold her hand, tell her she was safe. Other nights I'd find crackers or granola bars hidden in her pillowcase. I never got mad. I just sat with her and said, "We're not running out. Not while I'm around." There were days she wouldn't talk, wouldn't make eye contact, just disappeared into herself. So I stayed. Quiet, consistent, present. I learned how to braid her hair badly. I helped her with math. I cried the day she brought home a gold star sticker and asked if we could put it on the fridge. Then one morning she called me Dad. Just like that. Quiet like a test. I went into the kitchen and bawled like a fool. 6 months later, we stood outside the courthouse. She wore a blue dress, her favorite now. No more purple jacket. "You nervous?" I asked. She nodded. Excited, but scared. Like, what if they say no? I knelt down and looked her in the eye. "Whatever they say, I'm not going anywhere. You hear me?" She nodded again, a little smile creeping in. Inside, Judge Ramirez looked over my file. She raised an eyebrow. "Mr. Bell, when you first came to us, you had no children, no parenting experience, and a job that screamed lone wolf. Now you've passed every exam we've thrown at you, but I want to hear it from the girl." She turned to Lila. "Why do you want Mr. Bell to be your father?" Lila stood up, chin trembling. "Because..." He didn't leave. He saw me when no one else did. He stayed. Even when I was scared. Even when I had bad dreams. Even when I hid food. He still stayed. He made me feel safe. The judge nodded slowly. "Then it's my honor," she said, "to grant the petition. Mr. Bell, you are now legally Lila Bell's father." I didn't hear the gavel hit. I just heard Lila whisper, "We did it." And damn if I didn't cry again. That night we celebrated with Chinese food, her pick. She drew a picture of the two of us holding hands in front of a house. It said, "My family." I hung it on the fridge with a magnet shaped like a star. You know, I used to think family was about blood, marriage, birth. But this girl, she showed me family is about choice. About staying when it's easier to walk away. About showing up even when you're scared. So let me ask you something. Do you think love has to come from biology, or can it come from doing the hard thing day after day for someone who needs you? Leave a comment. Because I'll tell you this. I didn't save Lila that night. She saved me.